It is one of the biggest time suckers in business and one of the most frustrating things you have to go through. What am I talking about? Prioritization. Hi, I'm Bri Williams, the Behaviour Explainer, and today I'm going to take you through what gets in the way of an effective prioritization process and the 4 questions you need to ask. So what's the biggest problem when it comes to prioritization processes? We end up with too many priorities. And why? Because we forget to ask what the opportunity cost of proceeding is. So here are 4 questions that you should ask when you're going through this process. Of course, there are cases that are clearly must do or do not do. The problem, though, is all of those priorities that are somewhere in the middle. So here's question number 1. Is this initiative likely to result in a positive outcome for us and or avoid a negative outcome? So when it comes to positive outcomes, think about revenue growth or growth in market share. But importantly, sometimes initiatives are about avoiding a negative outcome. Think about things like compliance. No one likes to necessarily go through compliance processes, but if we don't, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, question 2, we're going to be asking, is this initiative likely to result in a negative outcome? So where the first question was about a positive outcome or avoiding a negative outcome, this is really about what's our risk tolerance. If we do this, might we lose people, money, reputation, or market share? Now, here's where it gets easy. If you've answered yes to the first question, that we either avoid a negative outcome or we have a positive outcome, and we have no to a likely negative outcome, well, clearly, let's proceed. Likewise, if it's no to a positive and yes to a possible negative outcome, we definitely shouldn't proceed. Now, interestingly, if you get yes for both of these questions, so yes, it will result in something good, and yes, it might lead us into some dangerous negative territory, then how do you break that deadlock? Here we ask, I guess, a sub-question to break this deadlock. And the question is, are the positives at least double the negatives? And why I ask that they be double is that this is the principle of loss aversion. In order for us to bother to proceed, the outcomes that are positive have to be much greater than the negative risks. Now, the questions so far have been framed in the positive. In other words, if we proceed. This third key question is framed in the reverse. What happens if we do not proceed? And the question here is, if we don't do this, will it seriously damage our business? This forces us to really understand the gravity of the project and its likely implications. It also gets people really galvanized around the importance of this task. If we don't do it, and there are serious consequences for us not proceeding, then we should feel uncomfortable about that. Now, the fourth key question reminds us that if we do something, there's a cost to that. We are going to be expending resources. So the question is really, well, do we have current capability? If we don't have current capability or capacity, then we're going to have to get new staff, we're going to have to buy new technology, we're going to have to buy new buildings, whatever it happens to be. It sounds obvious enough, doesn't it? But it's a reminder that even within our current capability, there is an opportunity cost for having, for instance, our people work on this project rather than, for instance, our business as usual. Right, so those are the 4 questions with a sneaky little sub-question in there as well. So question number 1, is it going to result in a positive outcome or avoid a negative outcome? Question number 2, is it likely to result in a negative outcome? Key question number 3, if we don't do this, will it seriously damage our business? And question 4, we're going to have to spend resources on this. Is it within our current capability? Asking those 4 questions will prompt people to really think in a different way around the priorities and hopefully give you less to do rather than more. Now, the good news is I have a free prioritization wizard online. You can use it as many times as you want, and it will take you through these questions and spit out an answer that you can either debate or at least will give you a sense of really where you are in terms of your priorities. I've put the link in the comments, so jump on the prioritization wizard. There are other free tools available for you as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again next time.